Natural health solutions shouldn't be such a pill. And now, they don't have to be. Prudence supplements come in convenient, easy-to-use stick packs and pumps. Now your pet can enjoy the benefits of science that sticks in every optimized Prudence formula for immune health, skin and coat, hip and joint, and more. Without a game of hide and seek for either of you. Discover how easy supplements can be with Prudence. Here's Dr. Jill Cline with more on Prudence Science That Sticks.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jill Cline, and today what I'd like to talk to you about is hip and joint health. The reason that hip and joint health is so important is that 1 in 5 dogs has some sort of joint compromise by the time they're 2 years of age. And dogs in the 7 and older category, up to 80% of those dogs have some sort of joint compromise, primarily in their hips, sometimes in their backs, and sometimes in their shoulders. The problem with compromised joints is that it affects quality of life of the dog, and it can also affect the relationship that you have with your dog because you don't get to do the same things together that you used to when they were younger. In order to really understand how hip and joint issues become a problem, we need to have a little bit of an anatomy lesson. So, an articular joint has a joint capsule, and inside that joint capsule are 2 bones. Between the 2 bones are cartilage that prevents the bones from rubbing on each other. Outside of those 2 bones and holding the cartilage in is the synovial membrane, which excretes a lot of different factors that affect how well that joint works. And then holding that all together is another fibrous membrane called the joint capsule. So what you see when you see joints interacting is 2 bones cushioned by cartilage in the middle. What happens when we have arthritis in those joints is it's sort of a 3-step process. The first thing that happens is that there is some type of injury in that joint. And that injury could be very subtle. It could be just a funny twist of an elbow or a funny twist of a back leg at some point in the dog's life. That injury leads to inflammation. Inflammation of the synovial membrane, inflammation of the membrane coating the bones, but some type of inflammation. The inflammation then leads to a cascade of events that result in the cartilage degrading and the bones starting to degrade as well. Think of it like this. What happens when there's inflammation is that the inflamed cells think that they're being invaded. So they start killing all of their neighbor cells. And so all of the neighbor cells start killing all of their neighbor cells. So what you end up with is all of these cells trying to kill each other, and you get degradation, both in the bone and in the cartilage. Prudence is a unique supplement for hip and joint health because it has a multi-pronged and symbiotic approach to managing healthy joints. We know that you need to start managing joint health as early as possible in dogs because we want to help ameliorate those symptoms of joint destruction and prevent them from proceeding further along if possible. 4 of the primary ingredients found in Prudence Hip and Joint Health are egg proteoglycan matrix, which contains something called natural egg membrane, or NEM. Another thing is green-lipped mussels. The other would be boswellia, which is the same as Indian frankincense herb, and MSM, in addition to a variety of other smaller ingredients that all work together. Now, egg proteoglycan matrix is a really interesting ingredient because it does a lot of different things to help maintain joint health. The first thing is that it provides calcium in a very bioavailable form. So that helps to maintain the bones in these articular joints. The other thing that it does is it has another mineral called strontium in it. And strontium, we know, has the ability to protect bones from breaking down, which is really important in joint health. The other thing the egg proteoglycan matrix contains is natural egg membrane, or NEM. NEM is a new ingredient in that it's that very small layer between the shell of the egg and the inside or the white part of the egg, called the albumin. Now, this particular layer has been proven to be 5 times more effective than glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate in helping to manage arthritic symptoms, like decreasing pain, increasing movement scores, decreasing the whole arthritis index associated with joint compromise. Green-lipped mussels are a particular type of shellfish that comes from the waters out off the coast of New Zealand. These mussels have traditionally been used by people to help prevent the signs of arthritis. And we know, based on studies in dogs, that they do the same things for dogs. They decrease swelling, they decrease pain scores, and they help prevent that popping, crackling noise that you often hear in joints when dogs get older and arthritic. And they help dogs move more efficiently. One of the reasons that green lip mussels are so useful for dogs is that they contain chondroitin sulfate and glucosamine, which have proven effects in dogs. In addition to that, green lip mussels contain a special omega-3 fatty acid that help dampen the inflammatory response in the joint capsule. Green lip mussels, in addition to being an anti-inflammatory agent and providing glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate, also seem to help protect the gut against inflammation or upset that's often associated with non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, or NSAIDs. That's really important because we know that a lot of times dogs are very sensitive to NSAIDs and they can end up with an upset stomach. So green lip mussels help to prevent that from happening. Boswellia as well also can help prevent irritation of the gut lining associated with taking NSAIDs in dogs. This particular herb can have a direct effect on gene expression, thereby preventing inflammation in the joint. At the same time, it helps to preserve collagen and it helps to prevent cartilage destruction. And then finally, MSM is a component of Prudence Hip and Joint, and we know that that particular ingredient works in combination with glucosamine, and it provides sulfur to make new cartilage matrix. It also acts as a potent antioxidant to help dampen inflammatory response and prevent free radicals from eating up other cells that are adjoining it. Which dogs should use Prudence Ultimate Hip and Joint? Well, interestingly enough, hip and joint issues are not a large dog issue anymore. There's lots of data that shows that we see hip and joint issues in small dogs as well. So Prudence Ultimate Hip and Joint Daily would be great for all types of dogs. Now there's another type of Prudence called Prudence Ultimate Hip and Joint High Potency. And that would be for dogs who are older, who've already been diagnosed with some sort of hip and joint issue, or for dogs who are high risk. Those breeds that we know typically end up with some sort of hip dysplasia or OCD or some other joint problem. For example, Labrador Retrievers, German Shepherds, or other large breed dogs typically are more likely to have arthritic issues compared to small dogs. Although again, it's not just a large dog issue anymore.